That's too me to be too glass up front with a wide ass and 19. Got to be wide up top when you heard that on one finger. Who's loud about it, Joe? We got to speak on black radio. We got to be me in the back of the head with the not the yellow arm out. Those bulletproof vest on would have two needs. You got to be 18 and 29. You got to be not the yellow on down and me up top. Or the wheels will go round and round, Joe. They'll hand you a gun about to hole in you. Explosions for YouTube. Explosions on the ground. Explosions for YouTube. Explosions on the man on down. Explosions. Rainy on it. Guns on. Who's black up front and who's two glass of squares? You got to rail it to her. They got to have two needs. You got to be too light in the back of the head with their hole. Their hole on YouTube, they go, who's speaking out the side of their shutdown? We're the Reaper with it backwards. You got to be black up top and no to me. To be two glass up front, speak on the black radio, goes tss, tss. We yellow on down, Joe. We got to have M16s. We got to have black shoulders and blue arms. It's this with the gun on YouTube. You get to have boots on about black radios and shooting them down for him, bro. The anti-one who do that to your brain hole, he goes there to YouTube. He goes, hand me a gun about the man one more fucking time, Joe. Give me shoulders about that. They shoot you back, bro. They go sparks of it for YouTube, huh? Just more holes. Just more holes in the ground. We go black Uzis up top. Black Uzis in here in a hole. We go, no, it's not that blue up top. We know it's black up front. See that? That was teeth in me. You got to be light, Joe. You got to have shoulders. You got to shoot them in the air, Joe. You got to be explosions. Explosions and gut holes and black shoulders with shirts open. You wouldn't know me, bro. You hear it too. It's this with the man about him. He's got to be shot for YouTube. He's got to go down harder than a sack of rocks and go back in space and time. Decide he wouldn't have gone to New Jerusalem. And he likes Lake of Fire. What's your problem with that, man? I speak on black radio all day. They go, me circle. Me is not the yellow. Not the yellow up front was me in the back of the head. They go, that's me right now. You what? They're like squished. They go back more often, Joe. And then they've decided that they should have watched it with white up top. Because look at this gun on them where they're broken glass and holes in you. You got to be black up front and hit them right in the back of the ass. Be silver with me on down, Joe. Be holes in, you're tired of it. You got to go through that hole. You got to go down with not that blue because it's black as the face on YouTube. You got to be 18 and two black. Lines through it by now. You got to be black as the bill, Joe. One on the one finger. Who's guns up and who's two not the blue? Two not the blue is you, though. You got to be sparks of it for YouTube. You got to be broken glass. Who's a black shoulder about that, Uzi? Got to be an SUV and asked him. Asked him whose ass was broken glass. They got to be two not that blue when you start rhyming up in the air. They got to be upside fucking round YouTube. They got to go guns up on YouTube. Who's glass up front, Joe? Who knows hole now? They go nose hole in mouth. Who's a YouTube hole goes down? We got to go back in space and time to the vent. Sparks of it for her. So we can decide instead. We'd have gone back through the hole a different way and gone ass up instead of ass front. And be not the yellow next time because we're dusty with them. It's this with bulletproof vests on. You got to shoot in the air. You got to shoot sideways. You got to get hit one time. You got to be blue now because you're wearing no bulletproof vest and you're hurt real bad. It's this with the M16. You got to be plastic for them. You got to be whole in Vietnam. You got to be like, where wasn't your wooden stocked AK when we had all this money for the heroin? They got a not the yellow shoulder, Joe. Buildings of it for you. Just lines through it. Black SUV and wooden hair. Or black hair. Or black wooden hair. Just light up front. Who's glass? All around, Joe. You funk. Hand him a black car one more time. Hand him a